40% of Americans are obese, and the average American family only saves 4.5% of their income, which comes out to just a few $1,000s a year. That's why today I wanted to share how, in just 6 months, I lost 60 pounds and got $50,000 closer to financial freedom. Oh, it also saved me dozens of hours, but that's just a cherry on top. So, how do you save money and lose weight at the same time? Let me share my story with you. In May of last year, I weighed 265 pounds. And I don't want to give you the wrong impression. I was that big for a reason. I competed in shot put and discus in college, which are sports that require you to be big. I was eating as much as I possibly could so I could put on as much muscle and mass as possible. And it worked. I went undefeated in shot put and I was the conference athlete of the year. But it came with real consequences. The most obvious were my joints. After I passed 250 pounds, I had to start bracing my knees with my hands whenever I stood up. My ankles and knees would crack just walking upstairs, and my back was almost always hurting. This got in the way of some pretty basic activities. Even a light jog would give me shin splints, and of course my cardio was terrible. And once I passed 260 pounds, I started routinely getting heartburn. It also damaged my relationship with food. I had to eat so many calories just to maintain my weight, so I stopped enjoying my meals. And, of course, I didn't enjoy what I looked like either. I had made the decision to prioritize sports in my senior season, but I knew that once I graduated, I had to make a change. Flash forward 6 months to January of this year. I weighed 205 pounds, which was my lowest weight since sophomore year of high school. But losing 60 pounds wasn't the important part. What really mattered is that I felt better than ever. I was more flexible and mobile, and my cardio was increasing fast. And I also just felt better about myself. By my own assessment, I was more attractive than I'd ever been. On top of that, now that I was graduated, I had begun my journey to financial freedom. I couldn't rely on a college cafeteria. I had to buy and prepare my own food. Luckily, the lifestyle changes I had made it possible to keep my food budget under $200 a month. Given that food is 20% higher in the area I live in compared to the national average, that's not bad. If I hadn't made the lifestyle changes I did, I would have been $50,000 further from financial freedom. So how did I accomplish all of this in just 6 months? Well, through intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting can be done in a lot of different ways and for a lot of different reasons. But the basic idea is that you constrain your eating to certain time periods. There are different ways of doing this, like doing a short fast every day or fasting over the weekend. I like to have a consistent schedule, so I chose the daily routine, which I think is the most common. Instead of eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I'd eat just 2 meals, typically between 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. In the other 16 hours, I would fast. During this fast, you should still drink water and other zero-calorie liquids. Staying hydrated is still super important. Intermittent fasting is associated with all types of positive things, like increased fat loss, more energy, and a better mood. For me personally, it's the only diet that I've tried that I've liked. With other diets, I had trouble making it sustainable. Trying to cut back on my meals made me dissatisfied, and I'd get cravings all the time. Plus, my body just didn't react well to them. They didn't work. But with intermittent fasting, I didn't have any of these issues. That's because I don't actually get hungry very often. I rarely want to eat that large of a breakfast anyways. So cutting that meal out felt relatively natural. And with intermittent fasting, I could eat large meals when I was hungry. In fact, large meals are even encouraged to make sure that you have enough energy for the long stretches of time that you aren't eating. Now, it took a week or so for my body to get used to this new routine, but after that, I almost never got hungry or had unusual cravings. So, intermittent fasting didn't feel like a huge unnatural change. It worked with my schedule, and I could still enjoy my life. But as soon as I started intermittent fasting, my weight started dropping fast. I lost 20 pounds in just 6 weeks, and I was already feeling some of the other positive benefits too. Of course, intermittent fasting alone wouldn't have been enough to lose 60 pounds in 6 months. Diet is immensely important, but it's not everything. The only way that I was able to get those results is by having a very consistent workout routine. But what I want to emphasize is that I didn't actually start spending any more time working out. I mean, as a college thrower, I was spending 10 to 15 hours a week working out. It's not like I needed to spend more of my day doing it. So I definitely made some serious changes to the types of workouts I was doing, but I wasn't spending any more time working out than I already had been.
Okay, by now I've explained why I like intermittent fasting so much and how it helped me lose weight. But what about getting $50,000 closer to financial freedom? Well, the math is actually pretty simple. Last year, Americans spent $2,120 billion on food. With 334 million Americans eating an average of 3 meals a day, that means the average American is spending $5.80 on every single meal. That's not exactly a huge expense, but you need food every day, so that can really add up. If you saved $5.80 every day for a year, you'd have an extra $2,100. But that's just the start. If you've watched this channel for long enough, you know that saving money is way more important than just the extra dollars in your wallet. That's because every dollar you spend every year has a huge impact on how much you need to retire. Even using the relatively optimistic 4% rule, every dollar you spend in a year means you need 25 more dollars to retire. That means that by reducing your annual expenses by $2,000, you reduce how much you need to retire by $50,000. That's a huge deal because it basically means you're being paid to be healthy. Any habit that's good for my health and my wallet is a habit that I want to incorporate into my life.
So I'm a big fan of intermittent fasting, and it's helped me a lot. But that doesn't mean that it's right for you. I'm not a doctor, and you should probably talk to somebody qualified before you make any big changes to your diet. I can't promise my results to anybody, and depending on your goals and lifestyle, there might be something that works better for you. And while intermittent fasting does help me save money too, your health is way more important than saving more money. I mean, the whole reason that I'm pursuing financial freedom is so that I can live my dream life. And my dream life involves being happy and healthy. But even if intermittent fasting isn't the right thing for you, there are still a bunch of different ways that you can save money on your food budget. In fact, I recently finished up a 30-day challenge where I tried to live on just $5 a day, which I'll link right here. I learned a ton by trying to minimize my spending, and I tried to capture my best pieces of advice in that video. So check it out next, and I'll see you next time.